She smiled as she zipped her suitcase, humming a tune of excitement. Her husband, he just stood there, silent, watching. She thought she had him fooled. But the moment she saw the other suitcase, her heart sank. It wasn't just a trip anymore. It was the unraveling of everything she thought she was hiding so well. Stay with us till the end, because the truth always finds a way to break through the lies. It was Friday morning. The house smelled like fresh coffee. The sun peeked through the blinds, and she was in her favorite mood, dressless. She opened her wardrobe, handpicking each outfit with care, as if she was going on a romantic getaway. But it wasn't with her husband. She had told him it was a girl's trip. A quiet cabin up north. No phone signals. Just peace and fresh air. He smiled and nodded. Didn't ask many questions. She felt relieved. Maybe a bit too relieved. That freedom, that adrenaline. It made her laugh softly as she packed her favorite red dress. The one she used to wear for her husband years ago. Now it was meant for someone else. But in the corner of the room, her husband stood with quiet eyes. He watched her closely. Not accusingly, not with rage, just silently. She didn't notice. She was lost in her little fantasy. A weekend of lies wrapped in lipstick and perfume. The car was already parked outside. Her friend was supposed to pick her up. She kissed her husband on the cheek. It was brief, almost cold. "I'll miss you," she said with a grin that didn't match the words. He smiled back. "I know." There was something in his tone, something she couldn't place. But she brushed it off. She walked down the steps, suitcase rolling behind her, heart light. But then he followed. "Wait," he said. "I packed something for you too." Confused, she turned around, and there it was. A second suitcase. Bigger, heavier, older. "What's this?" she asked, her voice suddenly unsure. "It's memories," he said. "Things you left behind." The air grew colder. The birds stopped chirping. The street felt too quiet. He handed her the suitcase. "Open it when you get there." She took it, unsure whether to feel touched or terrified. She arrived at the cabin with the other man. It was meant to be thrilling, forbidden, exciting. But the second suitcase sat in the corner, untouched. She tried to forget about it, smiled, laughed, took pictures, drank wine, but her smile kept fading. Her eyes kept drifting to that bag. The mystery inside haunted her more than any guilt ever had. One night when the man was asleep, she sat on the floor, opened the zipper, and peeked inside. Her heart skipped. A beat. Inside were old photos, letters, a dried flower from their wedding day, a pair of baby shoes they never used, and on top a letter, handwritten, shaky pen marks. She read it, and with every word her eyes filled with tears. The letter wasn't angry. It wasn't bitter. It was heartbreak wrapped in patience. It spoke of how he knew for months, the long calls, the late night meetings, the fading intimacy. But more than that, it spoke of how much he loved her still, how he waited for her to come back, not just physically but emotionally. "I packed this suitcase not to remind you of guilt, but to remind you of us," the letter said. "Before the world, before distractions, there was only you and me. I miss that version of us." By the time she finished reading, her hands were trembling. The weight of her choices crushed her. She looked around the cabin. It felt cold now. Hollow, wrong. She couldn't breathe. She left that cabin the next morning. No goodbye, no words. Just her, the suitcase, and a shattered heart. Every mile felt like a step back toward the truth. She realized how far she'd drifted. When she reached home, she stood at the door for minutes before knocking, not knowing if he'd answer. He did. There were no angry words, no shouting. Just eyes that had already cried too much. She knelt, begged, whispered apologies. "I don't deserve forgiveness," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. He didn't say anything for a long time. Then, he quietly walked away. Not out of cruelty but because sometimes, healing needs space. She stayed, cleaned the house, cooked dinner, waited. Days passed. He returned one night, sat beside her. And they really talked for the first time in years. It wasn't a happy ending. Not yet, but it was a beginning. Sometimes, the deepest truths are found in the silence we ignored, forget to reflect on what really matters. Watch till the end, and if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it.